Yes, through your teaching, I will recognize that.
Yes, yes, you see. Once you get it, no, but sometimes difficult to get it.
Yeah, but via online, it's more convenient to get it.
Yeah, yes, yes. And I see Randy golf and all the time. And then there's Nguyen Duk. And I see Arne every Wednesday. And here's the Pavo or Vova from Riga.
Yes, Rinpoche, Tasdulek.
Yes, Prasadania. Prasadania. Prasadania, what's that mean?
I don't know.
You don't know. You are the translator.
Просветление, it means enlightenment.
Oh, yeah, that one, yes. Reason. There's a kunjo dharma. Andy. Yeah, there's kunjo dharma. There's coming Lama 777. Honlen. I have to check this one. Good. I think from there we start. Rika, okay. He's from blah. Blah. Yeah, good morning. Yes, Victoria Dolma.
Right. I see I don't have a picture. I'm going to leave and see if I can get a picture.
That's okay, no need. Just it's enough now. I see Kunjo Pelma.
Good morning, Khenchen.
Yeah, good morning to you. We're 32 now. And here, Juliana.
Tashidelek.
Oh, Tashidele, Juliana.
Tashidelek.
Maybe Roy. Okay, Rai.
Hello.
Hi, Rai.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Where are you?
I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay, Pittsburgh, I know. You with Lama what?
Lama Khaosong, yeah.
Yes. How is doing?
He seems to be doing good. He's visiting Lama Sonam in Boston right now.
Okay. How's his English?
It's definitely gotten better. Yeah.
Better? Okay.
Yeah.
They are very smart.
Yeah.
His brother also Lama Chömbe.
Chope?
Chömbe is very good.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yes. Have you met him?
No, I've never met his brother.
Oh. He's the one who got the house in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay. I've seen him from a distance at teachings, but I've never actually talked to him or,
Okay.
yeah. I just moved here 2 years ago from Dayton, Ohio. I met you in Dayton, Ohio.
Okay. That's good. Now, Khenchen is right now, he's assigned Khenpo Abbot in Nepal.
Oh,
Yes. So 3-4 years, then he will back to Pittsburgh. Who knows?
okay. So it goes in cycles. Like when you become an abbot, you stay that for a little while and then you move back.
You just you run the institute there.
Oh. Well, nice. Thank you. Nice talking with you.
Yeah, very good to talk to you, Ray. Today is who is the Army. Oh yeah, that's right. Now you want to start the opening prayers? Oh yes.
Yes. I will share it.
Yes.
In the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly, we take refuge until we attain enlightenment. Through the merit of practicing generosity and the rest, may we attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. In the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly, we take refuge until we attain enlightenment. Through the merit of practicing generosity and the rest, may we attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. In the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly, we take refuge until we attain enlightenment. Through the merit of practicing generosity and the rest, may we attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the sacred happiness devoid of suffering. And may they dwell in boundless equanimity that is free from attachment and aversion. With skillful means and compassion, you were born in the Sakya clan. Unconquerable by others, you vanquished Mara's hordes. Your physical form resplendent like a mountain of gold. To you, the king of the Shakyas, we pay homage. And then we offer the mandala.
Yes.
The ground is purified with scented water and strewn with flowers. It is adorned with Sumeru, the king of mountains, the 4 quarters of the universe, and the sun and the moon. Thinking of it as the blessed Buddha feels, we offer it. By virtue of this offering, may all beings here and now attain the happiness of that pure land. Tram Guru Ratna Mandala Putsa Mega Samudra Saparana Samaya Ahom. In accordance with the capabilities and diverse aspirations of sentient beings, we ask you to please turn the wheel of Dharma, of the greater, lesser, or conventional vehicles.
Hello, everybody. We are studying the Bodhisattva Avatara, the Bodhisattva's practice, action, to the path, step by step. And we are in the chapter 8, the meditative concentration or the samadhi, and that we went through what's the real cause of samsara, just touching the basic foundation, not just saying you should be kind, be good, and something like that's enough. As I mentioned, the Buddha's teaching is nothing but to recognize the suffering, that what we don't want, and especially to the cause of that suffering. It's very difficult and very important. Because of being, the mind is such an unpenetrable, such a profound, vast, from that the unenlightened mind, we should say, has so much thoughts you can see in the mind. It's called mental factors. Ignorance, that's a foundation. Then above that, from that manifests our attachment, desire, anger, pride, jealousy, so forth. So many, you see, so many things manifest from there. So only Buddha can't thoroughly, completely reveal that. That's why it's called Buddha, So our interest is desire to free from suffering. And our interest is desire to have peace and happiness. And that I mentioned, repeatedly, it's not just Buddhist interest. It's the interest of the every sentient beings. And this is nothing to do with spiritual or non-spiritual. Whatever we do, we're involved with that. Politics, business, work, in the farmland, in the office, at your kitchen, at your living room, driving, whatever we do, or go to the mountain, go for a picnic, sightseeing, it's all our focus, how to have some sense of peace, harmony, happiness, joy, and how we can free from this suffering. That's I'm just reminding, because we forget. We need to remind. There's not so much things to learn, but we need to remind repeatedly. That's our main focus here, what I'm explaining. Because as mentioned, some teacher may explain the teaching these Bodhisattva as a Buddhist philosophy, as a Buddhist belief way, But actually, these teachings should be conveyed not as a Buddhist, but a universal value. Of course, it is individuals' interest. Whether you are interested or not interested is totally to the individuals, their interest. But we should have such a communication to how it explains to everybody from the very small thing, from basic, very small thing, then to go deeper and deeper, deeper, because it's mentioned the mind that it's about. So it touched so much about the cause of suffering related to the desire. There's a desire related to the human beings, and desire related to the, it's called 5 sensorial objects related to that, you see. So look at this, and all our focus is how to purify these mental afflictions. That's what Buddha taught. And that's what Buddha wants. He taught Dharma teachings for that purpose. Sentient beings need to free from suffering. But we cannot free from suffering just saying prayers, just chanting some mantras, or just some very exotic ceremonies, very elaborated ceremonies, or like monk dance, wearing a lot of mask, and then there are a lot of, you can see monk dance in the ceremony. Those are nice to see, to pass your time. You see, but they will not help you how to purify mental afflictions. Some may say, when you watch those monk dance, it will help at the time in the Bardo, because in the Bardo, there are so many wrathful deities, they manifest. But first we need help in this life, day to day, before Bardo. See, when we get the help, day to day life, then it shows it will help in the Bardo. But if it doesn't help in our day to day life, how we know it will help at the Bardo, It's kind of, I don't know what to say that, Anyhow, having said all this, our focus should be all the mind training. Now here, these days, in the teaching related to the bodhichitta, you see, how to equalize oneself and others. It's mind training. Means how to reduce our self, the arrogance. Because the self is not exist as we know very clearly. Independently. It exists as a notion, as a label, as a communication. Even Buddha used, when I teach, when you follow me, I did this. He used those words. But we have something in the mind, grasping, fixated. We are grasping that self is something exists as a concrete. And then we are so habituated. When somebody says some bad things, it hurts. It hurts our ego. Even animals, they have an ego, you see. When the deer is there and the tiger or, the leopard comes, the deer run away, because there's an ego attachment. There's a fear. It's running from that. So even animals, birds, insects, we all have our self-grasping, self-attachment. So here, we who has the precious human life, who is interested in the Buddha's teaching, then we have all those opportunities to open our heart and see what costs most our life, which brings the suffering. and which we can do about that, how to free from that suffering. No? So here is all the training of the mind. We have to train day after day, no? Week after week, month after month, year after year, you see, because as I mentioned, this self-grasping is so ingrained, deeply rooted. The propensity is deeply rooted in that. So we have to work, practice on this. You can see in the world how much problem is there. Now, we who are studying, practicing Dharma teachings, we have the real good opportunity. First, just to see the root of those problems. Now in the US, you see, last for a few days, there has been gun shooting, killing people. To control the gun is one thing, it's good, but to purify the mind of that individual is not easy. That cannot be purified by law. You can pass the law, you can pass the bill, but mental afflictions, the individual has the responsibility. To do that, this kind of teachings, you see. That individual, if you put in the jail for 100 years, that mental afflictions will not go away. No? Unless you are fully awakened. See? So therefore, these teachings, that's why I mentioned that Dharma is so precious. See? Dharma is the wisdom. Dharma gives us the opportunity to reveal our inner eye, the eye of the wisdom, the eye of the special insight. See, it's not just only for Buddhists, for everybody. So we have that responsibility. We have the opportunity. So please now, these are just, I'm just reminding, every time. See, that's why we cultivate bodhichitta for all sentient beings. To open our heart to all sentient beings. So, because everybody desires for peace and happiness. Everybody desires to free from suffering. So that's why it makes sense cultivating bodhichitta to achieve complete enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. If we individually take that responsibility and make effort, study, practice, Dharma will remain in the world. Dharma will stay in the world because there's use, there's benefit. But if we just make some kind of organization, some rituals organization, to maintain Dharma, so it's just organization. How to organize all these things, but without Dharma study, practice, it's just another activities of samsara. It's just an ego, you see, to attach to. You can see in the Dharma centers, there are so many Dharma centers where they are studying, practicing Dharma. People are more happy, more peaceful. But if there's no study, practice Dharma, there's a lot of confusions, jealous, arguing each other's. Who is more authority, who has more authorities, like these things. So it's another samsara. So Dharma study, practice. Practice is called, in America, we are saying this: walk your talk. You know, we have a lot of way to talk, but very few are walking. So we have to walk when we talk. So Dharma study practices about that. So walk your talk, that's Dharma practice. There's so many good ideas, wonderful ideas. So to accomplish those wonderful ideas, we have to practice the Dharma teaching. So this is some suggestions I just bring up at the beginning. So the other days we went through, you see, like 101. What we did, 101 was, you see, continua. This is very good. Continua and gatherings, so-called. Continua means continuation. From 1 minute, 2nd minute, 3rd minute, continuation. Also like a continuation of river coming from mountain, the river. Or then gatherings, public gatherings. People get together. It's kind of public gatherings, so-called. Just example is like garlands, like a mala, with many beads. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, the bead there. When there's 100 beads, it's called mala, garlands. And like armies, when there's many soldiers, we should say. When there's many soldiers, then we can say this army, a group of army, or many gatherings they are unreal. It's because combination of many. See, one bead we don't call it mala. But when there's many beads, then it makes the mala. The first drop of the water, from that if you collect hundreds of thousands of drops, it fills whole like buckets. So it's a collection of many drops of water. So public is gathering of many people. We don't call one person is the public, We don't call it the public. But when there's many people, hundreds of people comes, there's a public gatherings. So that is called, because of that, is unreal. So this, we have to understand, our body here is gathering of many causes. 2 hands, 2 legs, now eyes, ears, nose, all these skins, flesh, skeletons, all just combined. Then says my body. So it's unreal, you understand now. But because of our ego grasping, we are holding as one I, concrete, very substantial. That is coming, you see. When it hurts your one finger, index finger, then you cry, oh, it hurts me. But it doesn't hurt you, it's just one finger. No. When it hurts your right hand, it doesn't hurt your left hand. But because of our ego clinking, say this is me. So it's unreal. That's reality nature. It's not Buddhist belief. It's not a Buddhist philosophy. is the philosophy of the universe, the philosophy of whole world. So that's we have to get that little more, go a little deeper. These are each verse has very profound meaning. So we should make our mind go through deeper. Then so there is no one to experience pain. So you see, there's no one who experiences pain. As other day I mentioned, then I said, I have a pain in my index finger. And then if you investigate, where's the pain? Go through all the dust particles, through the quantum physics theory. You can't find even a dust particle of the finger. Then where's the pain? See, that's the reality nature. But our ignorance, our ingrained the habit, the karma, cause, conditions, all this come together. So we just make one thing. So then I have a pain, this, that. I have a pain on my leg, for a long time. You see. That right now we cannot deny that. Intellectually, it makes sense. You see, through your understanding, oh yes, it makes sense. That's right. But practically, we are not there. Still pain. No. When you have headaches, oh, I have such a strong headache. No, I can't eat. I can't drink. So the headache makes everything, it spoils all your day, But only headache. It's not other legs and your hands and no pain. So we in the samsara, we have that we cannot deny that because it involves a lot of causes and conditions. Deep down, ignorance. The habits is a collection of many habits. Okay? So please understand that. For who is there to be its owner? Who's the owner of that pain? There's no honor. There's no self. It's all illusory functions. So that's the reality nature of everything, you see. I, you, me, all this. Then say 102 is suffering has no possession. Same thing, no possessors, no honor. There's no self who say, I am the one who's suffering. Where's the I? No. When I have a pain on my index finger, my index finger is the I, is the self. Where? It's all illusory nature, you see. Just a manifestation. Therefore, no distinction can be made in it. Means you and me, I and others, you see. Because when I suffer, I need to work how to free from suffering. Because it's suffering, you see. Just because of the suffering, I have to work to free from suffering. Likewise, when somebody is suffering, I have to help to free from suffering because it's suffering. There's no reason I or they. No, it's a suffering. Suffering is nobody's interest. So we have to help to dispel the suffering of anybody else. So look at this. So they're saying there's no I as a possessor, you see, no? There's no I as honor, No, sir. This is my own suffering, as we said that. But there's no I, honor. There's no possessor, see. So, since pain is pain, see, it is to be dispelled, you see. Since pain is pain means anybody who has the pain is subject to purify, subject to dispel. There's no argument. So mine or yours. It's very important, you see. This is such a precious. This is where we have to train the mind, you see, as mentioned. Training of the mind. So, what use is there in drawing boundaries? So drawing boundaries, my suffering, your suffering, you know, and say the country, the state, the city, no, why you are making the boundaries? Everyone shares the same thing. Because of now this all our ego, attachment, anger, resentment, then we make all the boundaries. And that creates more suffering, more confusion. You see, you can see this now. That's why Dharma is precious. Dharma means wisdom. But we have to have our own mental power to capture this meaning. If somebody read this who doesn't have the wisdom to understand, it doesn't mean anything. Then in number 103 said, but why dispel the pain of all? So why we should dispel all others' pain? You cannot argue in this way, you see. There's just earlier mentioned. You no need to argue. There's no need in the logic. Simply just touch its meaning itself. Suffering is a suffering. No. It's just other day we're done, you know. Why? When your foot has a pain, where your hand is helping, because the foot doesn't want the pain, so the hand is helping your foot. So this is pain, no. So there's no need to argue, you know. If my pain is removed, so too should that of others, you know. When I need to remove my pain, I have to remove others' pain as well. So that's why I say the loving kindness, compassion that comes there. No? Loving kindness means desire to have peace and happiness to all sentient beings. Compassion means desire to free from suffering of all sentient beings. So when we expand that mind to all others, no, what that does is that brings the peace, see? That brings the peace, and when there's a peace, there's a happiness, there's a joy. See, that's the message of the Buddha, message of the great masters who understood this meaning. Some masters, they will explain all about the philosophy, you know, what that school believe, what that scholar believe, what that scholar's communication, you know. But some practitioners will explain about this, how to put it into practice. So if there is If there is not, then neither should be mine. No? See? If you dispel the suffering of all, then it says, dispel the suffering of all. If you don't dispel the other suffering, don't dispel your own suffering as well. No? It's a very good statement here. Oh. Then there comes 104. Compassion makes us feel such pain. No? You say, then say, if I practice compassion, it makes me more suffering. It upsets me more because I have to think of others' suffering. No? That brings me more suffering. If I don't think about that, I'm well off. No? I'm more peaceful. This is some argument or just to investigate. So why should we make effort to engender it? So why I should make more suffering for myself? Why I should produce more suffering for myself? Because if I develop compassion, it comes more suffering. I don't like that. No? That's the argument. But thinking of the suffering of beings, how can you regard as great that smart of your compassion? No? If you say no, but thinking of suffering of beings, when you look at the suffering of sentient beings, it overwhelms. No. Great Bodhisattvas, that the tears come follow in the eyes, or build the well of tears. So how all sentient beings, they deserve this kind of suffering? No? So that kind of compassion brings the suffering. No? So I don't like that. People say that. So in that, see, how can you regard as great the smart of your compassion? So how that can make you more suffering? Because the suffering is just there. No? See? It's all, you see, this car, it will not bring more suffering to you, but you have the awareness, you have wisdom that allow you to see the suffering of other sentient beings. Because of that, it allows you to develop great compassion. That's why it's smart here is, no? Your wisdom, you have a special insight that allows you to see the suffering of other sentient beings. So that you feel that it makes you more suffering. In reality, no. Whether you understood or not understood, suffering is there. But that awareness gave you opportunity, or gave us opportunity to see the suffering of sentient beings. And then it not only that, it allows us to see the cause of suffering. What are the cause of this suffering? Not just only the suffering. See, what we can do about it. Look at our own mind, to look at our own mind inside, and look at others' mind inside. This pain, the suffering they're going through, and the cause of that, No. Instead of we being upset, being angry about it, but what I can do, just concern and develop great compassion, you see. So that's why it's next is coming, you see. And if through such a single pen, so individual like a Bodhisattva, I should say, a Bodhisattva who has that kind of pen, out of compassion and wisdom, aware the sentient beings, that you see, a multitude of sorrow can be cured. So from that one pen that I have, there's a possibility I can help to kind of say alleviate beings from the suffering, because I have courage, you see, wisdom. That's called indomitable courage and wisdom out of that compassion. So it helps. A multitude of sorrow can be cured. Such pain as this, all loving people, you know. You love the people because they deserve peace and happiness. But out of ignorance, they're suffering so much. So your compassion allows to do things right. So, you know, strive to foster in themselves and others, see, to dispel the suffering, you know. That kind of suffering, one individual suffering, that we can take it to alleviate the suffering of sentient beings, you see. You see, the suffering there in the samsara comes from the duality, you see. Through the dualistic thought, as earlier mentioned, demarcation. We make the boundary, you and me. There's so many social status, we make the demarcation, boundary. No. But these all are root cause of suffering. So we can make difference. Suffering, you see, we need to wake up from that dualistic thoughts. Just for example, in the dream, say in the dream, one has a suffering. Like say in the dream, a lot of floods coming. You are in the flood. Just so much rain and water is coming there and you are in the flood. So much suffering. And there's a lot of fear. Oh. And you feel it, I'm in such a dire situation, or like say forest fire in the dream, and the suffering is real in the dream. See, so the individual in the dream struggling from the suffering. Now, what we should do? You know. That individual suffering so much in the dream. The only, you know, the way is to wake up from that sleep. When the person is wake up from the sleep, there's no flood, there's no fire. So the Dharma teaching is to wake up, to dispel the ignorance. No. is not just to punish to those individuals, but need to wake up from this sleep of the ignorance. So that's why Dharma is so precious, you see. That is called Buddha's teaching. As I mentioned, Buddha's teaching is not something Buddha invented, but the Buddha found all the reality nature of the samsara revealed as a universal value. So that's, you see, these easy words, verses are such a profound. Therefore, he said, yes, you see, thus, you see, verse 106, thus, Supushpa Chantra is the name of a Bodhisattva. Knowing that the king would cause him harm, at that time there's a king. Harm did nothing to escape from tribulation, that the pain of many should be in death. See, so this is a just example. This teaching is Buddha mentioned in the Samadhi Raja Sutra. Samadhi Raja Sutra, or meditative concept, the king of the meditative sutra, Buddha taught in Rajgir at the request by the great Bodhisattva called the youthful moon light, Chandra Prabhava Kumara, in Tibetan Dayushunu. So what that goes is way back, countless eons ago. So there was called Buddha, Pemadawa, called Tathagata Pemadawa. Near the end of his teaching, that there were great Bodhisattvas in the country. The king of that time, the king of the country, the king was very powerful, very selfish. So he kicked all those monks out of the city. So these Bodhisattvas, they're located in the countryside. It's called all goodness woodland forest. There are 7,000 Bodhisattvas. The head of that Bodhisattva is called this one here, Supushpa Chandra. So he was giving teaching to all those 7,000 monks and Bodhisattvas. Then one day, because of his great wisdom, he looked in the city, in the kingdom. There were thousands of people there. If they receive the Dharma teachings, they have all the opportunity to plant the seed for the enlightenment. If they don't get that kind of opportunity, most of them will go to lower realm because they're involved so evil deeds, unwholesome deeds. So this Bodhisattva, Supushpa Chandra, he told all his followers. So now I need to go to the kingdom to teach there. And all they have requested, please don't go there. The king is evil. He will take your life and it will harm all of us. Please don't go. And that time, this Bodhisattva, see, so Pushpa Chandra said, if I protect myself, my own suffering, how all those hundreds of thousands of beings there who are ready to go to the long run, who will protect them? No. So I must go. I sacrifice my pain for all those. So with that, then he went to the kingdom. And all the people there, then he taught teachings, Dharma teachings, bodhichitta, how to take refuge in the Buddha Dharma Sangha, how to keep the 5 precepts, how to cultivate and practice bodhichitta, so forth. Day after day, for whole week. And then the kings, his ministers, his wives, his children, and people all around, totally involved listening to the teachings. The king himself alone at the palace. And then the king was so angry. As well, he was jealous. So now all my wives, queens, all the ministers, everybody following this monk, they don't pay attention on me. I must kill this monk. And then there was usually in the kingdom, usually they have a special person who butchers, who kill. So he asked the ruthless butcher come along and gave him enough gifts. So you kill this monk, cut his hands, legs, pieces, take his eyes out. So then the merciless, the butcher went there and killed the great. So so those, all the audience, hundreds and thousands, they made connection towards enlightenment. Because the great Bodhisattvas has such a great skill to share the Dharma teachings. How to free these all sentient beings. So after having done this, then the butcher, as the king ordered, went to the monk, that Bodhisattva, and cut pieces his limbs. Because of his great bodhicitta, because of his great realization of the Mahamudra, emptiness. Here you see, all when you cut, there's nothing but light radiating from the limbs of these pieces of the body, radiating light, no blood coming. So after seeing this, then the king was so astonished. This monk was not an ordinary monk. I thought he's going to take my kingdom. I thought he will expel me out of the kingdom and he will take over because all my members, the people following him. But in reality, this monk was not an ordinary one. So then the king was so regretted. Then the remaining of that Bodhisattva, he built a stupa. And every day he go around the stupa and cultivated the bodhichitta. May I become like these bodhisattvas. May I become like a Buddha to free all sentient beings from suffering. So that the detailed accounts are explained in the Samadhi Raja Sutra. That Buddha explained, Buddha Shakyamuni said. So Buddha Shakyamuni said, at that time, that ruthless king, I was that king. Because of that great Bodhisattvas, allow me to purify all my obscurations, delusions, and I practice the bodhichitta. Now I become the Buddha. And that great Bodhisattva is the you, that has been mentioned, the youthful moonlight Bodhisattva, Chandra Pravava Kumara, Ayushanam. So Buddha prophesied his coming to Tibet. So that Kabupa was that Bodhisattva's rebirth. See, so there's long history, you see, of this. So that here does now see it is saying, if one person's suffering, if it helps hundreds of thousands of beings to free from suffering, samsara, to achieve enlightenment, says worthwhile. That brings the peace, harmony in the world. So we should not be so selfish. No. That is the Dharma, the bodhichitta. So we have to train our mind this way. See? So then, verse 107, those whose minds are practiced in this way, you see, whose joy it is to soothe others' ills, will venture into hell of unrelenting pain. A swan sweep down upon a lotus lake. So now this you see. So who practice this kind of mind? The bodhichitta totally enjoys this bodhichitta. No, then say, I, just one person, just one individual, and others are countless in the world. If I just work for myself, maybe one person may be free from suffering. Still, if you are involved with the self-grasping, it doesn't happen. But if I work for all the sentient beings, all the sentient beings are free from suffering. No. So we have to practice that. You say, this is there's those whose minds are practiced in this way, you see, whose joy it is so soothe others' illness, you see. Illness means suffering. When anybody, great bodhisattvas, when you see, like mother, just look at, a mother who sees her child is suffering. She cannot bear it. When the child is free from the pain, it gives her such great joy. No? Look at, you see, when her child is such a pain in the headache, and then she gives a kind of a painkiller, and the child is free from the pain, and she's so happy. Not because of our pain is gone, but because of her child, the pain is gone and she's happy. See? Because she is so used to taking care of her child. She's so habituated on that. No? So mothers are like that. When the mother has, like say, 3, 4, 5, 6 children, she just serves whole children, whole family. And she enjoys that. So Bodhisattvas, we should take that kind of example. Enjoy the peace and happiness of others. Not just enjoy in a selfish way for your own. See? So this is such a precious, this is called training of the mind. So you train the mind that way and practice Dharma. That's the how direct root cause of peace and happiness. You see? So when one has this kind of training, then you see, will venture into hell of unrelenting pain as swan sweep down upon a lotus lake. A beautiful lotus lake is there. The swan will jump into that lake with so, how to say, happiness. So great bodhisattvas going to this is just example, going to the hell realm where there's unrelenting pain. But the bodhisattvas will go there to help all the sensations there with such great joy. Because that bodhisattva has no attachment for herself, only to help others. So this, we have to train the mind, see, purify our mental afflictions, attachment, anger, and self-grasping. See? So then sharing Dharma wisdoms is such a great joy. And this is what Buddha taught, you see. Buddha attained enlightenment when he was 35, you see. So 45 years, he doesn't establish a house, home, no. He just going around giving teachings, different places. After he achieved enlightenment, he didn't build a kingdom for himself. Instead of showing the wisdom to others. He attained Buddhahood in Bodh Gaya. That time there was no aeroplane, no transportation, just walk. He didn't ride on the horse. He didn't ask people there, say, can you arrange me a horse, or chariot, But he just walked. At the end, he died in Kushinagar, you see, Tanjotong. So he shared this wisdom to all others. So that way, because of that Dharma is so precious, so his message, not just only India, then went to all where you say nowadays the Buddhist country like Burma, Myanmar, and Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, China, and then see Taiwan, Japan, Korea, you see, and then in the West, you see like Pakistan, Afghanistan, everywhere. So then to Tibet. Look at, you see, Then in Tibet, you see, like they mentioned, Milarepa, the vivid, clear picture in the history of Buddha, the Milarepa. Everyone's talking about him, because of Buddha's teaching, you see. We have to give the credit to Buddha. And knowing that Marpa went to India and brought all those profound teachings passed down to Milarepa, and he, without wasting a single word, he practiced and attained Buddhahood. And how much that served to Buddha's teaching through Kambupa. Here now we have, Supushpa Chandra, the great Bodhisattva. So you see, okay. So verse 108, ocean-like immensity of joy arising when all beings will be freed, you see. When all beings are freed from delusions and then free from the suffering. And there's immense joy, a sincere, not joy out of attachment, but joy out of wisdom, out of compassion. The joy when you see other beings are free from suffering. A joy gives rise when other peoples express how much benefit they got. That is precious, you see. That kind of joy we cannot buy from anywhere. Look at this, you see. Will this not be enough? You see, if you have this kind of joy, will this be not enough? What kind of greater joy you want? This is the greatest joy. Unafflicted joy, joy out of bodhichitta. See? Will this not satisfy you? This will satisfy you. So see, we have to cultivate this mind and then practice this mind. Let it infuse in your mind. That's why it's called disinclined to the holy activities. We should be detest of all the samsaric activities. And enjoy the Dharma. That's the benefit of the Dharma, see. The wish for my own freedom, what is that to me? There are some individual liberation, the working for individual liberations. Why you need that? If sentient beings are free from suffering, will that be not enough for you? What you need for your own selfish liberation? We have to cultivate this thought, meditate. But before we act, first we have to practice ourselves. First, make sure we got the message. Make sure we got the message and we practice. And then slowly, when we practice, then build up the wisdom, the compassion, and we'll build the courage, and then there's no fear to help others. So these all steps it takes, you see. Don't just jump emotionally. So, oh, this is so wonderful. Oh, I like this. You jump there and then you scream. Oh, it's too bad. I cannot do this. You regret it, Before we jump, first make sure you got it. Study it, practice it, get used to it. Then whenever you do, you just do it so joyfully. And then dedicate for all others. So that's what Dharma practice is about. Now I'm sure you understood a little more. Dharma organization is not just a celebration, or not just a ceremony, or not just some chanting mantras. I'm not saying we should not chant mantra. Of course, we should chant the mantra. We should say the prayers, but that much is not enough. See, we have to go deeper. See, that's how the mind is powerful. This way we can help the whole society. If you go around, this Buddhism as a religion go around, now there's not much space. But if we have ability to communicate, skill to share this wisdom, everybody will appreciate. Especially those who took the responsibility for the welfare of the country, of the state. So wish for my own freedom, what is that to me? So when sentient beings are free from suffering, when you see the joy, and then say, that itself is just enough. Then 109, the work of bringing benefit to beings will not then make me proud and self-admiring, you see. When my mind is tuned to help others, bring real peace and happiness into society, in the world. When that happens, when I enjoy that, then there will not have any special thing, say, I have done this. This you see, make me proud and self-admiring. Because you enjoy so much others' peace and happiness. So where you are yourself praising yourself, I have done this, it's because you feel it's your responsibility. When the mother took the responsibility of the house, and cook for the children, family, mother will never try to now. She will not try to say. She will not try to grandize herself, self-grandize herself, but she enjoys when the children, they are happy with her cook. When her families are enjoying what she prepared, and that gives her such great joy. So the Bodhisattvas, all sentient beings, you see, when they feel happy, so why I should be so it's called self-admiring. This is such wonderful, Then not only that, the happiness of others is itself my satisfaction, you see. When others are happy, the Bodhisattvas are just satisfied. I worked for others, now they are satisfied, so I'm happy. So that you see, I do not expect another recompense. Means if I do this, what I will get back. No expectation of reward, you see. You just simply enjoy others' happiness. You don't expect, maybe my life will be better. You will not expect my rebirth will be better. No expectations. You simply enjoy others' happiness, others' satisfaction. Then that is what the teaching, that's how we train our mind. You see, this training of the mind. You have heard of Lojong so many times. Here, there, Lojong, mind training, Lojong. So this is Lojong. Okay. How you are doing?
All good.
You're good, you enjoying?
Lasse.
That's good. So now you just bring in your heart. Okay. Store in your heart. No.
Can I ask? Lama, do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, can I ask about this topic?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to ask about helping to another, about inspiration.
Yes.
It's very cool to do it, and all these stories is so nice and pure. But in reality, people don't need dharma. It's so difficult to share dharma to another because people don't want to release attachment to the reality. You come to many times to our place, and many years we don't change, don't changes, and it's inside the Sangha. I have many friends. They practice, but in their real lives they still in the same place. They live in samsara, and it is in the dharma, in Sangha. But if I try to talk something or to be an example to simple people, it's fully impossible. They want to be happy, but They want just to have something, you know. I can help to buy something to make more comfort on their lives, but dharma, real attachment releasing to myself, to reality, it's impossible. I don't have inspiration in this situation. I just want, many times I just decide not to talk anything to anyone and don't communicate with other people, just have a distance and to live alone, because my trying to do something always have a negative result. Yes.
First, you just practice at your room, okay? Before you try to help others. You study this well and practice, meditate, read again, practice, make sure your mind got this. If somebody kind of say bad things about you, you just say, oh, thank you so much. You helped me to get rid of my negative, you know, instead of being very resentful, instead of being so protective yourself, you see. So first you practice yourself. No need to rush others. You see, this is just not for 1 or 2 days, for the life after life, life after life. See, as I mentioned, the youthful moonlight Bodhisattva at the time of Buddha, who have requested Samadhi Raja Sutra, see, he practiced countless eons, not just one lifetime, you know. So, you see, this is how Kampupa's life story goes, how he was established. So first you establish yourself. See, make yourself fit. Then you see, if you share with others slowly, 1 person, 2 person, like that, you see. First look inside yourself. After you are well established, then you can do others. The samsara is endless. Don't worry about it. Okay. Okay. Then verse 10, 110. You see, what said is, therefore, just as I defend myself, from even slight disparagement. No. If somebody says little bit negative about you, how defensive myself is. No. Even they say when they don't look at you, how you feel. But so defensive. No. That you see said, in just the same way with regard to others, I should likewise have a mind protective and compassionate. See, first look at yourself, how defensive you are when somebody says little small bad things about you, when they disparage you, you know. So, no, he's not sincere, no. Then you just immediately say, what you mean, you know? You see, so we are so defensive. So likewise, if we practice that, be defensive to others. You say, you know, in just the same way with regard to others, you see, I should likewise have a mind protective and compassionate others. When others are a little disparaged or not doing negative things, if you are if you try to protect it, if you protect that from others or about the others and practice compassion. So this is how we practice step by step, you see. Now it makes sense? So now we are saying, Shantideva was now explaining me different way, you see, trying his best so that we can get it, the message. The drop of sperm and blood, mother's essence, belong to others. It's not belong to me. It's father's and mother's seed. It's theirs, not mine. Yet, through strong habituation, my body is made from by the father and mother, not mine. But then after some time, this is my body, Then I cherish. Then I hold this so precious. I hold this is so clean. This should not have any problem. So I built my attachment because I have an ego, self-grasping to this. See, I came to have in its regard a sense of I, you see. The sense of I, where it's coming from? Because self-habituated. I self-grantize, say this is me, and ingrained this habit. So, though in itself it is devoid of entity, so by itself there's no I, there's no self. But we so habituated, we taught. When you were a child, mother, father taught. This you, this yours. You should protect yours. This is your room. Don't let this happen to others. So we taught that day after day, year after year. We've grown up with that. Then in the country, we go in the country. In the country, we go to school, college, university. So you should have a self-esteem. You have to build a sense of I. So then we become so defensive, built ourselves, I. So this is how we built, you see, how we constructed samsara. Now through this helps us to demolish this kind of dimension we built as a cause of all the suffering, a source of all the confusion. From that the suffering comes from. And we suffer from there so much. And we don't need this suffering. So this is how to relate to reality nature. So we are built as, artificial dimension. As I mentioned, the artificial dimension. See, they all are nothing but fabricated, imputed. See, and all the mental chemicals built all this samsara, ready to fall apart easily. It happens, you see. The society we built is so easy to disintegrate. But we try to keep it, with all the effort. So because of this, there's no end of suffering, you see. no matter how much we do, there's always side effects. So here is saying now what whole society is built of this illusory nature. Let it be that way, and let us understand each other and how I can contribute to others, how I can help others, but help without expectation. If they don't appreciate, that's okay. You know, we have expectation. If I do this, maybe they will appreciate me. If I do this, I'm so disappointed. I try to do this, they don't appreciate. I give up, you know. Giving up doesn't solve the problem. But we have to build the reality nature as it is. Actually, there's nothing to build. It's just we have to have wisdom to recognize, you know, to see that nature itself. No. So that's why, as mentioned, the adventitious, you know, afflictions, the adventitious obscurations, these need to be dissolved, purified, and then bodhichitta manifests by itself. See? So this, so we should understand the self is not born from somebody in concrete way. It's just habit. We just habituated ourselves from nothing, from zero. No? Then we built this ego. See here now. So now with that example said 112, and so why not identify others' body, calling it mine, you know, my sentient beings, I sentient beings, you see. So just wait that way, you just build that. No. We sentient beings need peace and happiness. We sentient beings need to free from suffering. Just use that we, you know. Or I sentient beings, you can say I sentient beings. Very so Shantideva was trying his best, you know, to give us message. So others' body calling it my or I, and vice versa means reverse from self-grasping to all the sentient beings, I sentient beings, vice versa. No. Why should it be hard? Why it's so difficult? It makes sense because it's the root cause of peace and happiness. If I make mistake, then I just say, I made mistake. I don't blame to anybody. Instead, still I try to protect. So if sentient beings start to make mistake, I should be protected. I should protect those sentient beings made mistake. Oh. To think of this, my body, as another. See, my body as the another. So there's no difficulties on that. Say now, see, why should it be hard to think of this my body as another's body? My body is other's body. Other's body is my body. So just meditate that. So this is how to equalizing all sentient beings as I. So practice this. So as earlier mentioned, First, we just sit in your room and practice this. Meditate on this. Okay, how we are doing? We are doing good?
Yeah.
Oh, now, verse 13 it said, verse 13 what it said was, perceiving now the false possessed by I, by me, by I. All the false is there. It's because of me. I am the scapegoat. Because of me, all the faults in the old days is because of me. Now we're changing, you see. Vice versa, we're changing the idea. Before, all the time, we are pointing to others. You made the mistake. It's yours problem. You and that, this, you know. But now change to, you know, the ocean of good qualities that are in others. So holding, what you say here, so, you know, when you say me, no, I, just selfish I. So all the faults come from that. And using others, others are the source of peace and happiness. So when I take others as me, when I help others, no, the others are all the source of good qualities. Now this we have to understand, you see. Just for example, when you practice generosity, how you practice that? You give things to others, you know. Without the other, that's what you give. You cannot give things to the piece of rocks. See? You practice patience because there's some irritates you. If there's no irritators, how you can practice patience? See, so others are such a source of good qualities, he's saying that, you see. No? That's what you have to understand. The ocean of the compassion, the ocean of the wisdom, the ocean of the purifications, the ocean of excellent qualities, this all manifests because of the others. All the samsaric sufferings, going to a hell realm, hungry ghost, animals, it's because of self-grasping. Now make sense? This we have to understand this way, you see. It's very important, you see. So seeing this nature, you see, self-grasping is the source of all the faults. And grasping others is the source of all the good qualities. Because of that, no, I shall lay aside all love of self, you see. Now I put aside love for myself. Instead, I love others, see. And gain the habit of adopting other beings, you see. I should now, from today, I adopt all others. No? I reverse from the past, not from today. From today, I adopt all others to myself and get rid of, see, and lay aside, I put aside self-grasping. And this is the source of all the peace and happiness. So practice this bodhichitta. So means purify all our mental afflictions, our anger, attachment, pride, jealousy, and self-graspings. Purify those. Replaced by loving kindness, compassion, wisdom. Okay. Do you need a short break?
Why not?
Okay. Now first, please take a deep breath. Inhale fully. And exhale. Lose all the tension. Make your body, mind smooth, spacious. And just reflect what we went through this morning. No. Whether it makes sense or not. Whether it is helpful or not. No. Whether it becomes the cause to free from suffering and a cause for peace and happiness. You see, nowadays in the world, you see, the boundary is becomes so big. Before it doesn't. We don't have that in before. There's little boundary, but all just very easy to go out in. But now the boundary is becoming more strict. And there's more conflict, more suffering. It's because of self-grasping, self-grandizing. See? You can see this very obvious clearly. There's nothing to hide. The others are coming to invade you. You don't want to let that happen. So like this, you see. So see this, just relax, meditate, reflect on this. I purify myself. We individually have total 100% opportunity to practice this. So just meditate on this, and then we make a short break. Okay. Om banza sato samaya mano balaya banza sato tenoba tita teto membawa sutu kaya membawa subu kaya memba Anorado membawa sarvasi deme prayasa sarva karma sudame sedana shreya guru hum ha ho bhagavan sarvata daga dambar zama memo dambar zembawa ma samaya sato. Okay, thank you.